Well, welcome to my second try of video today. For the last 2 days, I've been having technical difficulties with my videos I put up. I'm not sure why. Yesterday, I had a problem with my video. Today, the site is knocking it off, so I'm going to try it again. But we're talking about the Holy Spirit and having a Spirit-filled life. Yesterday, we talked about the day of Pentecost, the day that the Holy Spirit was given to fulfill the prophecy of Joel, that the Spirit would be poured out on the sons and daughters, and old men would see dreams, and young men would see visions. And we talked about the Spirit-filled life, and we're going to talk more about that. One of the interesting facts of that day was that the folks thought that they were drunk. And Peter got up and said, no, they're not drunk. They're filled with the Spirit. It's too early today for them to be drunk. And so he went on to give them a 5-point message, and then they were pricked to their hearts, and they became Christians and received the Spirit of Christ into their own lives. I was thinking about that, and in Ephesians 5:18, Paul says, do not be drunk with wine, but be filled with the Holy Spirit. Now, I've known some people who have been drunk before, and I've been around some drunks, and you can tell that they're not in control of their faculties when they do, and a lot of times they've been very much out of control when they do that. Well, in some senses, when we're filled with the Spirit, we're not in control either. God's controlling us. And that's a good thing, because our natural reactions and all are not always the best. We want to do God's ways, and God's ways are usually not our ways. And so we want to go with God. But I find it interesting. It says, do not be drunk with wine, but be filled with the Holy Spirit. The main part of that verse is be filled with the Holy Spirit. Baptists for so many years have made the other part the main part, do not be drunk with wine. We really get big on that. In fact, one time I mentioned in a message, I said, I've never been drunk and all, but if I presume that if I would come into the pulpit drunk, that I probably wouldn't have a job next Sunday. And had one of the deacons come up to me afterwards and said, Robert, you came into the pulpit drunk, you probably wouldn't last to lunch. But what is sad is that nobody really cares about whether I come in full of the Spirit or not. And I can tell you, I have went into the pulpit at times in my life not Spirit-filled. And I don't think anybody noticed. But my desire is to be Spirit-filled every day. I don't always do that, but I want to be that. And that's what we're going to talk about, is being Spirit-filled and the different things that encounters. I'm going to talk a lot about that the next 2 days. But today I want to introduce something to you. You know the fruit of the Spirit. It's found in Galatians 5:22 and 23, where it says, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such there is no law. I'm going to spend a whole week on this, probably next week. I'm going to spend a whole week talking about the fruit of the Spirit because it's so important. But how do you know if you're filled with the Spirit? Well, you're going to have these characteristics: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Those are the fruit of the Spirit. That's how you can tell whether you have been filled with the Holy Spirit or not. My prayer is today that you will choose to be filled with the Holy Spirit, because I do believe it is your choice. That you can allow the Holy Spirit to control you, or you could ignore the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit comes in when we receive Christ. He pricks us, as we talked about yesterday. He tries to guide us into having the character of Christ, which is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. I pray you will have a spirit-filled life as well. See you tomorrow.